Hey friends, welcome back to the Happy Homestead. That's where we are today. We are on our homestead property. I'm so unprepared. My goal is to go plant the garlic, and I realized in my car I forgot to bring my boots. I forgot to bring my kneeling. I have a piece of foam that I kind of kneel on in the garden, and I'm wearing decent clothes. So I don't know if I'm going to plant it or not. I'd like to, but I want to come up to this front area because the mulcher completed his job a few days ago. My husband's been up here, but I hadn't, and I am so excited to show you how this looks. He did a phenomenal job, and I can already just see how much has opened up. You ready? So amazing. So anywhere you see kind of the bare, I guess you could say it's bare, the bare forest floor, it's all mulched, right? So it's basically like tree shreds. Those are all shredded trees that the mulcher basically ran over, took down. And so anywhere you see the forest floor is where trees used to be. So you can see we've got some pretty big spaces here. We've even got sunlight dappled in coming down. Over here it's a little thicker because this is where actually the driveway will go at some point. And so we didn't really want to spend too much money on taking trees down over there. When the house gets built, that'll all just come into the building process anyway. So still a lot of work to be done, but I'm so excited. So we're gonna try to get our fruit trees planted in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Sooner than later. We just need to wait for fall soccer for our kids to be over, and we need to wait for my husband's fall football schedules to be over, so we've got to wait for things to die down over the next few weeks, and then we're gonna get our trees in. I'm just so happy, so elated to be here and to see this progress. It's just so peaceful out here. I love just kind of coming out and just taking in the nature. One of the things that I did when we camped out here 3-ish weeks ago maybe, and I had woken up, I didn't sleep very well in the tent, and I had woken up early and just kind of sat out here around our little fire pit, and I listened. This was maybe 6 a.m. All of the birds just went crazy. I'm hearing some now, and so in that moment you've got to do this, because if you're a geek like me about it, I was like, what are all these birds? And so I downloaded the Merlin Bird ID. That's what it's called, MERLIN, the Merlin Bird ID application on my iPhone. And when you open it, and I guess it's sponsored by Cornell University, and it at the top you can hit sound on. So you hit sound and just let your phone listen, and it identifies all of the birds, and it was phenomenal. I think I had 10 birds that morning, so I'm going to do it right now to see how many we get. There's lots of crows. Okay, in that 2-minute period, I did it for 2 minutes straight. There's so many now. We had a red-bellied woodpecker and a crow, American crow, golden-crowned kinglet, blue jay, Carolina chickadee, tufted titmouse, and a Carolina wren. Amazing. I find that fascinating. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm getting old. But you got to download the app and just go somewhere and listen to all the birds. It's really fascinating. So anyway, that's one of my favorite things to do, is just to come out here, be in nature, be in the sun, and listen to all the sounds and just breathe away the stresses of life. Speaking of which, let's go plant some garlic. I've got about 200 and some heads. Gotta go get that in the ground. Got a beautiful, beautiful zucchini. And the plant is still putting off 2 or 3 more. Got some great green beans to snack on. And I found my foam knee pad. I left it out here last time. So that's a win. All right. I have 1 softneck variety and 3 hardneck. Now, hardneck garlic is the garlic that will put up the garlic scape. This is kind of like a 2-for-1. I love hardneck garlic because you can harvest the scape. It's basically this really kind of skinny green stalk that comes up from the garlic plant, and that is what will eventually flower. You want to harvest it, which means clip it as close to the base of the plant. I'll show you all this in the spring, but you want to clip it as close to the base of the plant before that flower really develops, and certainly before it opens. And then those garlic scapes have the most beautiful and unique kind of garlic flavor. And you can make garlic scape pesto, garlic scape butter. I fermented my garlic scape this year, and I still have them in the fridge, and they're so good too. I like to put them on salads. So for me, I love the hardneck because you get the scape. You do not get the hard scape with soft neck garlic. The benefit of the soft neck garlic, however, is you can braid it. So if you ever see those really beautiful bundles of garlic kind of braided together and then hung, that is soft neck. Hard neck really does have that kind of hard stalk in the middle, and it makes it very difficult to braid. Soft neck doesn't have that. And so I'm growing 1 variety of soft neck, 3 varieties of hard neck, and I'm imagining my soft neck is gonna go like right here, kind of against the fence. There's a lot of dead space over in here that I really think I can utilize that well. The hardneck I had envisioned on putting kind of along the tomato trellising here that you see behind me, all along that. The thing though is I have a lot of marigolds still that are still just blooming, and they're really, really looking good, and I'm not ready to discard them or take them out yet. But I'm going to try to get my hardneck along the tomato trellising, not right under where I would put my tomatoes, but kind of off to the side, because they're a good complementary plant, companion plant for when I do plant my tomatoes next late spring or early summer. Now, garlic is something that you're always planting in the fall, and if you're just starting out with gardening, garlic is what I always recommend starting out with because it's so useful and versatile in your kitchen, but it is also one of the easiest things to grow. You just need to have really good organic garlic. You cannot have garlic that you just buy from the grocery store that's not organic because it could be sprayed with a sprouting inhibitor, which basically means it won't sprout in your pantry. If it won't sprout in your pantry, it's not going to sprout in your garden. So you want a good organic garlic that you can then plant. It sprouts. You plant it in the fall. You harvest it in your late spring or early summer, depending upon your zone. And it's easy. That's it. So that's what we're going to do today. It's usually one of the last things that gets planted in a garden for the year, for a calendar year, before the garden gets put to bed. We are not actually putting our garden to bed here in Zone 7B. I still have so much growing, but the garlic is probably going to be one of the last things I do plant. I'm going to start with the soft neck and get that in the ground first. Okay, so this is my soft neck. It is Italian soft neck garlic. And I bought all of my garlic from So True Seed, S-O-W True Seed. They're out of Asheville, North Carolina. Such an awesome company. And soft neck Italian. So look at that bulbs. The bulbs are gorgeous. So many cloves. And so really what happens when you plant garlic is you're going to take a clove. So you break the bulbs apart. You take a clove. You don't have to take the paper off. Just leave it fully intact. And each clove becomes a new bulb. It's really cool how that happens. And so you can kind of see there's a root end, right? That's the root. And there's a pointy end. And the root goes down, the pointy end goes up. 60 cloves of Italian softneck garlic is now in. I just have to kind of move my mulch back over. I'm not going to water. That was the other reason why I wanted to strategically plant today, because it's supposed to rain tomorrow morning. And so I'm just going to cover this. Now with garlic, you just need to keep it mulched, kind of keep it covered. Leaf mulch, like leaf debris from your yard, wood chips, whatever you have, mulch it to protect it. And in a couple of weeks, you'll start seeing it come up and let it do its thing. So I'm just going to cover this back up now. Okay, same process to be repeated. I'm at the top of the garden here where I had some tomatoes. I'm just gonna get the garlic going here. This one, I'm gonna do this in alphabetical order. I have Bavarian Hardneck, Bavarian purple Hardneck, Italian mountain, and Persian Hardneck. So I'm gonna try and do it in alphabetical order so I can remember which is which. Starting with the Bavarian purple Hardneck first. 30 cloves of the Bavarian Hardneck garlic right here. Now, because of the bulb sizes and the clove sizes, you know, obviously I had a lot more cloves of the Italian softneck, and I think that's because those cloves were just a little bit smaller, whereas these bulbs were huge, and so the cloves were huge. And so while it looked like this gorgeous, humongous bulb, it only had maybe 9 or 10 cloves in each. And so, all right there, gonna cover that up. I also, while I was over here on this side, I heard a deer. He was like right over here in these woods beyond the electric fence, and I think he was a little ticked off that I was here. Well, I heard him run away and I heard him go, so he was mad. But I want to show you what it looks like with the hardneck garlic. Once you get all the cloves off, this is what you're going to look like, right? With soft neck, there's nothing left. Hard neck, you have the neck. Now this is where you clip the hardscape, the garlic scape off, right? You clip it from the bottom and it obviously dries out. But this is what it will look like with hardneck garlic. So if you're ever curious if you're buying hard or soft neck from the grocery store, if you have this in the middle, it's hardneck. So I just got 60 Italian mountain hardneck in the ground in that second trellis area. And I was trying to find a place for my last one, which is actually called Persian star. I think I missed the word star at the end last time I mentioned it. And this area right here was covered in cardboard because there were some weeds and I wanted to kill the weeds. And so I just removed the cardboard because I think this is where I want to put it. Look what I found. See him? It's a brown baby snake right there. He's tiny. And he is not something I'm afraid of. Okay, I got 50 Persian star cloves planted. I actually have 2 bulbs left, but I ran out of room, and honestly I ran out of the will to keep going. I probably had about another 20 to 30 cloves of the Persian star. But with what I've got in the ground right now, that's 200 cloves even, which would hopefully yield 200 bulbs. But what's next is something new for me. These are Egyptian walking onions. It's something you technically only have to plant once. The onion bulbs actually come off the flower rather than in the ground, and then the stalk kind of bends over and falls to the ground because of the weight of the bulbs, and then it plants new plants. And so that's why they're called walking onions, because they just kind of keep walking and moving along in your garden. This is a first for me. I've never planted them. I've never even eaten them, I don't think, but they're supposed to have a really unique flavor profile, almost similar to a shallot, and you can let them get big or small, but this is how they come off the flower. So I am going to plant them kind of right in here. This is just an open area. This is where that borage was that I had talked about in the last video. We had some squash, but I think this is a really good place for it. So this is the last thing to get in the ground. All right, walking onions are in the ground. Garlic cloves are in the ground. It's gonna start raining in about 15 to 16 hours, so I'm not gonna worry about watering, and I'm gonna let nature do its thing. And I am gonna go do my thing and enjoy the rest of my day. So I hope you have a beautiful day. Thanks for joining me. Go plant your garlic. Stay healthy, stay well. Bye-bye.